we will get into it.
Sounds good.
So, last time, I would love to have one of you guys, or all of you guys, recap last time.
Well, from what I remember, especially at the very tail end of the last one, I was watching both Alaris and Senna throw each other around, and I was eating popcorn. We were also looking through the what would you call it? The druid's sanctum? Off? I don't know.
The council building, yeah, and
Council building, yeah, yeah. And there was most of the people were alive but very close to dead. Most of, like the higher up druids, and we were just trying to figure out what happened. That's what I remember mostly.
yep, that's totally true. And there was a lot of confuckery with getting the uh, the pressure plate to unlock and reveal the spiral staircase down below. But once you guys did finally figure out that fucking head scratcher, there was a lot of bickering and bestiality related foreplay. There was nipple twisting counterclockwise and clockwise from Senna on Alaris, as played by Nick here. Um, and from there, I think that was kind of it. That burned up a lot of time somehow.
It did. I was just like, I want to just kind of like, look around, see how stuff works, and then all of a sudden people were throwing each other around.
Yeah, and Kyra was kind of a little bit getting more and more concerned as things were more dire than I think it seemed like the bear and the green woman were really taking it. But I'm glad you guys had a tussle, and you're chill, and you're ready to continue the journey. Am I missing anything?
No, not that I can think of.
Weird ass conversation between those two.
Oh, the nipple twisting.
No, not that. It's
Oh, the nipple twisting.
the conversation down the stairs. Kira. Is it Kira?
Kyra.
Kyra.
Kyra. All right.
It was almost Kira. So I think with that we can pick up from there. So there are staircases that take you down into wine cellars where secrets age gently in oak barrels. There are staircases that lead to attics full of forgotten dust. And then there are staircases like this one, spirals that sink so deeply into the ground they start to question your own memory. The staircase is the latter kind, and I regret to inform you that taking the first step is far easier than taking the last. The stone spirals descend endlessly into a thick, heavy fog that clouds the feet beneath you. It seems to curl and spiral around your boots, not just your legs and your ankles wrapping around them, but even around your own mind. Each step groans beneath your feet and beneath your weight, not from old age, but as if it disagrees with your choices to be descending down here. The deeper you go, the less stone you see, and the more the texture of the stairs themselves and the surrounding walls begin to shift and change. They start to take on a flesh-like and scaly appearance and texture to them. The walls around you begin to pulse. The steps ripple slightly beneath your feet as the staircase itself seems to be slowly transforming into something that was once architectural but now feels anatomical. What do you do?
Are we in a mimic? That's what it sounds like.
I feel like Dan pulled a fucking fast one on us here. So when you say scales, are we talking snake or are we talking dragon? Like I'm talking size, like sliminess.
Um, go ahead and roll. Let me see what that would be. Help me out if you guys know.
Maybe
Let's do like a nature,
perception
or it was.
or nature.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to investigate that,
perception.
but I was just thinking like we can just skip that and go straight to the like. Maybe it would be like animal handling, like we're calling animal lore. Let's see.
Well, animal handling
Because if it's gonna be animal
allows you to
handling, I'd
calm
rather
or
have
train an animal and have an animal behave a certain way.
Yeah,
So
let's see.
it's because he's just looking at or whatever. So I would say it's investigation because he's looking and trying to determine something.
I mean, that sounds right.
Yeah, 'cause it's not animal handling whatsoever.
Well, DM, which one do you think I should roll?
I'm just going through it. Yeah, okay, so maybe it looks like it's nature because allows you to recall lore about terrain, plants, animals, and weather.
God damn it! Can I have a Loris roll for this?
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of like talk to him, I guess, and
Okay,
ask him for his thoughts, and then yeah, you can roll for him even if you want.
Okay, so I'll ask Alaris, as the stuff changes around us, these scaly walls, it's on the walls, right? Or is it all, like, the whole thing? It's kind of turning in, like, to...
The walls around you, like surrounding you, themselves feel like they're slowly starting to, like a series of scales starting to emerge from the earth and from the dirt that this kind of tube structure was originally built on. It's slowly starting to merge into that kind of scale. So it's like the walls
Okay.
around you.
Okay, so I'll turn to Alaris and ask, like, what do you make of this? Do you recognize any of these scales, like, what they could be?
So if you want, you can go ahead and roll for him. Although maybe I have to
I
do
thought
it.
you were gonna... Yeah,
I can do it.
roll
It's
for
fine.
him. Doesn't matter
Okay.
to me. I don't have this thing that poem. Need to get back to campaign. Sorry for this.
You're good.
And his nature is a...
It's a +4.
Okay. Come on, Google. There we go. All right, 15.
Oh, nice. Okay. So Alaris basically responds saying, judging by the black patterns that kind of streak in a diamond shape across the walls that are starting to emerge, they remind me specifically more of a snake. And judging by the size of them too, they look more snake-like than anything like a dragon. I'm looking, and then he continues going, based on the patterns, as these patterns start to kind of emerge and get darker and darker and thicker and starting to kind of envelop the space around you, those black streaks start to turn into kind of diamond shapes, which brings to mind a very specific type of snake that essentially coils around its prey in order to suffocate them. And so Alaris basically explains that.
Man, we got constrictors. Fuck. Okay. All right, so is Nick's character just with us right now? I'm just wondering.
He is not. Don't worry about it.
Gotcha. Just didn't know.
You're fair. You're fair. Okay. So.
Okay.
Yeah, if you guys have anything you want to say to each other or try and do anything at this point, feel free to.
I kind of do, but I also
What
kind
you
of have
want to
something
do?
on Lars to do. Um, since everything is turning kind of fleshy, scaly, pulsating, I'm kind of thinking that something like an ancient giant snake or something like that could be a part of it. Because I can't imagine why scales and flesh would appear. What do you think, Senna?
I think it's a mimic.
What makes you think it's a mimic? Wouldn't it have already killed us already?
No, they're evil bastards. They love the torture.
Well, all right. Wait. Do any of us have like a? We have torches, don't we?
They have torches.
No. So is it like dark down the stairway, or like can we see? Okay, don't know if you actually.
As you've descended, um, it's gotten gradually more and more dark as the ceiling above you has resealed itself, locking you in,
Okay.
giving way to further and further darkness and fog gathering around your feet, covering the steps beneath you. So it's very difficult to see. Remember, you do have Kyra in the lantern, and yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if all of you have torches, but I know
That's right. Kyra was
definitely
in the
Senna
lantern.
has torches.
I forgot Kyra was in the lantern. Well, I guess there's not much we can do but just keep going, right, guys? So I'll just turn around and just keep walking with Kyra in front of me, just trying to illuminate as much as I can.
Okay, so you continue to walk forward.
I continue to walk forward.
Senna, do you?
I'll stay back.
Okay, I'll stand back. Okay. So, Tyr, I would like you to. Let me see really quickly.
What's the roll?
Hold on. All right, let's go ahead and do this. So, as you continue your kind of even pacing of steps down the spiral staircase, you start to feel the steps beneath you turn from kind of the harsh solid stone into more soft, fleshy, unstable texture underneath your boot. And then from there you feel the very next step start to give way as your right foot kind of slides out from underneath you. So go ahead and roll. You can do like a dex check to see if you can recover.
Okay. Oh shit. What's my fucking 9?
Sorry, bud. So from there you start to take a tumble, and you start to basically continuously roll down for at least 5 more steps and disappear into the dark and into the fog beneath everyone else's vision. And so they completely lose sight of you. As you start to fall down the steps, your screams basically reverberate and echo through the chamber and through the spiral staircase like well. At first, the other party members, you guys hear the sounds and the thuds of him falling and his accompanying screaming fall into the abyss beneath you and trail off, only to then re-emerge, coming from behind and above you, where you finally see and hear Tyr coming from above and behind you in the steps that you already went down reappear and continuously fall into you guys. So if you guys want, go ahead and roll a dex to see if you can avoid him or catch him or whatever you want to do. Actually, let's just do that. What do you guys want to do as he's stumbling back into you?
Dex want to catch him.
Okay. You can go ahead and roll for
And then,
dex.
and then can I get assisted by Alaris? Or did Alaris go with him?
He did not go with
No,
him.
it's just me. So
Okay.
am I holding on to Kyra this whole time as well?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
Well, yeah,
Pretty sure I didn't,
you
like,
had
drop
her.
or whatever.
Yeah, you had her. No, let's. Yeah, we're not gonna be total dicks. A 9 wasn't that bad.
You said Dex, right?
Yeah. You can roll dex. I think that's fine.
19.
Fuck yeah. You stopped the shit out of that meatball. So as Tyr kind of fumbles boom, 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 down like a fucking potato down a stairwell, you finally hard stop. You slam your axe down in the step beneath you and jam him to a like very sudden and abrupt halt. Tyr, you're probably fine. I don't think you need to take much damage. No, you don't need to. It's fine. It's fine. But you notice all of that basically commotion, among all that commotion, I would like all of you guys to roll perception checks now. And yeah, what the hell? I can have Alaris do it too.
12.
17.
Okay, 12, 17. Yeah, I mean 17 is good enough. We can just call it there then. All right, so with somehow Tyr, you have become intimately familiar with this space after face planting, and started to notice that throughout all the commotion and the noise and the impact, as that was happening, the surrounding walls have begun to close in more rapidly around you. Almost like you are being constricted from the outside inward. And you're
Is it too late to use detect magic? I'm just fucking around.
and you're able to rationalize and kind of piece together that the rate that it was like constricting or kind of like, you know, growing inwards was accelerated by the commotion that you guys caused. Almost as it was almost like it was responding to it.
Does it stop or does it just kind of keep going?
As you've stopped rolling and stopped shouting, it's still slowly kind of pulsing and gradually making its way outward, constricting, but the rate at which it's doing so has slowed down drastically now that you've come to a stop.
Okay. And if we looked up, could we still see the
It's
door
pitch black.
that
No.
closed?
It's pitch
No,
black.
not even with Kyra.
As you extend Kyra outwards in front of you, you start to notice something very interesting. That the fog beneath your feet starts to extend outward, almost like it was shadowing your arm and shadowing the lantern itself.
Do I see this also?
Yeah, you're right there with him. So yeah. So, unlike the typical darkness or fog, the lantern isn't really cutting through it to reveal much. It's almost more so attracting the fog as its shadow on the ground.
Steve, do you have any radiant spells?
No.
Fuck. Oh, it is.
Wait, does Alaris?
I'm looking at him right now.
Just got poison spray, shillelagh, spare of the dying, entangle, healing word, thunderwave,
No, where did I-
bark skin, flame blade.
Does look like no.
Yeah, no, don't see it.
No radiant. Well, fuck.
All right. So I'm gonna ask Kyra. You wouldn't have any idea. You wouldn't happen to know where we are, would you, or what is going on?
She kind of pauses, and the flame, the white flame within the lantern, starts to shrink inward on itself, almost to denote basically that she's gone more quiet and unsure of herself, and almost like cowering away from the outside edges, the outside walls. And she responds basically saying, "These tunnels are familiar. I've seen visions of them in my dreams. I think once built by druids, but now something darker has taken root.
So we're surrounded by fog and this pitch black staircase. If we go down, we end up going back up. What if we go back up? Okay, so with that information, I'm gonna take Kyra with me as well. I'm gonna start heading back up the stairs and see what happens.
Yeah. Does anyone else go with him?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
I have no trust in that shit. No,
Fuck you eating?
Your mom's ass.
You fucking wish. I'll leave a cock in your throat.
Okay.
Sorry, Nick got bored, guys.
That orange gel's kicking
I'm
in.
sitting here quietly. No. Shit's
No.
already worn off, unfortunately.
That was a joke. Oh no, your meds are wearing off?
Don't worry, Joe.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't last
I thought like you
long.
were getting tired. Okay. Okay, that's different. Okay. Maybe reapply then. Nick or Steve, can you put some of this on your pants?
God.
It's just
that's
the only way to get a
video.
good spread is the thing.
It's going in the video.
Okay, yeah, and it
God
certainly
damn it.
is. Okay, I'm gonna die as I live, completely unmonetizable. Okay, so Tyr starts walking back and kind of squeezes past Senna and Alaris and walk up the spiral staircase once again. This time, as you do so, Tyr, you start to feel kind of a heavy weight in your legs, almost like you're climbing up a mountain, and it's been several hours of you doing so, and it feels more and more tiring. You get about 5 steps upwards, and that's enough for the other party to lose track of you in the darkness and the fog that's actually following you and sticking to the underside of the lantern like its shadow. And then as you get to that sixth tiring step, you take what will be nice. You take one psychic damage. As the pulse basically begins to shoot its way through across your temples, and you get a bright flashing light, almost like you were just reminded of a very painful memory, but it was so fleeting that almost like a dream, once you come back from that 1 second, you don't remember what it was you saw.
How big would you say this radius is? From the lantern to the edge of this darkness,
Thank
this
you.
magical darkness.
What do you mean, like? Oh, like what's the difference between like the center point that you guys are standing on to the walls?
Yeah, well, you said it moved. It moved.
It's like inching inwards.
With
yeah.
him, right?
Sorry, what is? What is?
Well, you said the darkness is like as he's moving. It's
The whole place
like-
is dark, but the fog beneath is accompanying. It's like following the underside of, basically by his feet and the underside of the lantern too.
Is Kyra's
So-
flame still fading, by the way?
It's not fading, but it is smaller. Like she's shrinking away, like she's scared.
Okay.
But Maddie, what's your question? I guess.
like I'm just trying to get like a sense. Like, is the darkness moving like with him? And,
No,
like,
you're just
away
in.
from
You're
you?
picture like you're in a dark stairwell, so it's not necessarily moving with anyone. It's just dark, and then there is a fog that has accumulated beneath your guys' feet, and that is the thing that's moving with Tyr specifically.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Remember to take 1 psychic damage, by the way, Steve.
I already did. How did we clear the fog?
Not
the
that I
last
see,
time?
but okay.
Oh no, yeah, it should.
On D&D
On my
Beyond?
D&D Beyond, yeah. I'm at 21 max, and current is 20.
Okay. Well, now my shit's
Maybe
just
refresh
not
the page,
loading. So I did that, and now it's just not loading. So I believe you,
Weird.
and it's
Okay.
just D&D being weird, I guess.
Oh no, I see it. I see it.
Okay, I believe you. My shit just is not loading now, so it's just a white screen. So that's fun. Oh, okay, now it's back. Cool. Cool. So do you do anything else from there once you've kind of regained your composure after taking that damage and getting that flashing burst of kind of a painful dream?
Tick tock on clock, motherfucker.
Bitch, you could be doing something too.
Well, you decided to move. And get your shit
Yeah,
kicked in.
and it's shit kicked
You're
in.
just sitting
It's
there-
fog.
You're sitting there with the thumb up your ass.
Then do something. You've been standing on the stairs doing nothing.
Are you talking in character, by the way?
Shit, I'm so sorry, Nick.
No.
Hey, don't just be a smartass after the fact. Was
Yeah,
that in
yeah,
character or
bitch.
wasn't that?
Yeah, bitch. No.
I'm sorry. I keep yelling. I keep forgetting that we're right above.
Yeah, I'm
Leo's room.
sorry. While he's talking to you, he ain't doing anything.
Anyway, oh my God, Medi, you saying this isn't helping the situation. Whatever. I'm gonna go back down and slap the shit out of Senna, and then keep walking down the stairs.
Do it.
Well,
I want to progress in this campaign.
Oh, you know what would be great if you did something. Anything.
Well, you're in control right now.
Maddie,
Because
this
you
is not
have
like
the
a
lantern.
one-sided.
Here's
You don't have the.
No,
You have
guys
the
have
fucking
it.
lantern.
guys.
Okay, someone just needs to make decisions, not
feel-
bickering.
I fear you're feeding off of each other in a really negative way here.
We gotta move on. Just move on.
Think about
Move it in.
what your character would do next at this point and what makes sense for them to do. And if you need to talk to each other in character to help figure out what the fuck is going on and what you should do next, then you can do that too. That might be helpful.
Well, since she can't technically see me because the darkness is overwhelming, we'd have to yell. So I'm gonna go back downstairs to Senna and Lars.
Nice for you to finally join us.
I don't see you doing anything.
Don't start.
I'm gonna babble. I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of you.
As your bickering continues, you start to sense the flesh beneath your feet start to pulse and almost kind of like almost not as exactly like quicksand, but kind of wrap itself and morph itself around the soles of your feet and creep up alongside, almost reaching your ankles. And the walls as well begin to pulse and grow outward, beginning its kind of constriction at a more accelerated pace.
So I'm gonna look at Senna and Nalaris and say, how do we defeat that fog before when we found it in the forest? Because this is very similar.
Can I see the lantern?
Sure.
I
Give
take
her
the
that.
lantern from his hand.
I was already giving you the lantern.
Well, okay, I'm just gonna shut up my ass.
She said take it, not grab it. Okay. All right. So as you take the lantern, the fog beneath it and more localized to Tyr starts to transfer over to you.
All right, I'm going to kind of bring the lantern like up to my face, and say hi, Kyra.
Hi, Senna. How are you?
That's okay.
I'm doing good. What about you?
I've been better. I've been worse. Rubs her neck.
I swear to God, I'm gonna charge an Eldritch Blast on your stupid ass, Senna. Do something.
Wait,
do
you
something
ain't
of
fucking
use.
doing anything, bitch.
This is
and
the
then
first time
and
you're
then
doing something of use.
oh, I've done many things of use. Excuse me.
This is Tyr talking.
All right. As you continue to bicker, the walls even accelerate even further and even faster in response to your shenanigans and tension.
I'm. What the fuck did she say before I was rudely interrupted?
I've been better. I've been worse.
What's wrong with you two?
Fuck off.
All right, here's what I want you guys to do. I want the two of you guys to roll an insight check.
Okay. That's what I was about to ask.
Oh, mine's a straight roll. Got 5.
I got a 7.
Art imitates life. All right, as that, okay, with the bliss of ignorance, you guys continue to bicker and escalate, and as you do so, the walls begin to close in on you even more and more rapidly, now reaching in almost at elbows length, basically. Like if you were to kind of stand with your hands on your hips, kind of, that's what I mean. It would basically reach your elbows at that point. Go ahead and, well, let me see. What's your passive perceptions? Because I feel like that might even be enough.
Mine's 12. Mine's 12.
You are one dumb bitch.
Well, I mean, Tears is 14, so
All right. Go ahead and roll
Lars is
then.
15.
Go ahead and roll then. If you want, Lars can roll too.
For what?
Perception. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
18.
Okay.
Oh, mine's pretty good too. 17.
Okay. Well done, guys. Among or amidst all your bickering, you start to like a sibling duo or very old married, like a very, very old married couple. I'm talking like elvish, like years lifespan, that have been around each other too long. You start to be kind of in sync with one another and almost harmoniously start to bicker with one another in a way that you're kind of on the same wavelength now and feeding off of each other. And in doing so, you're almost hyper aware. You put your two brains together and look around you as you're doing so and notice that the walls are in fact closing in around you and see a connection between doing so and see a connection between your speaking and elevated tension and elevated volumes of your voice with the acceleration of the growth around you. And then even more so as you start to kind of bicker hovering over the lantern itself, you notice the fog kind of swirl around your feet. Most of it is still directly kind of underneath the lantern itself, almost like if it were just an object casting a shadow. And then part of it has outstretched itself a little bit more thinly to the step just in front of you guys, just beneath you. And instead of covering the step completely, it's more so kind of making a ring shape around it. And because it's now making that ring shape around it and you have that lantern held up over it, you start to recognize a glowing symbol carved into what looks like now the stone, no longer flesh, but stone step beneath you. And for the sake of ease, we can pretend it's in a different language, but for the sake of making this easier, guys, I'm going to paste in the chat what that letter would translate to, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
My mic broke? Hang on a second. Alright, never mind. I'm gonna bring or continue to talk to Kyra and say, fuck, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Hey, Kyra, it seems like we're in a little bit of a sticky situation here. Can you help us out?
Kyra jumps in the midst of your bickering to kind of answer your plea and basically say, look down at your feet. I think the fog is reacting to my presence in maybe the opposite way that the walls are reacting to your presence.
Okay, so we see L on the stair below us. So if we step on that stair, I don't know, something might happen. That's what I'm worried about.
I step on it.
Why don't you step on it?
Mine just fucking said I did.
Okay. How do you do it? Like you're now completely on it, or you just lightly do it, or
I just put my right foot on it.
okay. As you plant your right foot on the step, you notice it feels solid once more. The fog has cleared its way and revealed the very next step, which is about 3 steps ahead. And it's now outstretched. A little bit is still connected basically underneath the underneath the lantern, but most of it now has gone over to 3 steps down, and once again revealing a new symbol on that step. And then as you're on your current step with your right foot, it feels solid and safe.
The next one's 3 steps down.
Yep.
What if I move the lantern closer to the stair?
As at which one? The one that you're standing on, or the one ahead?
The one that's ahead of it.
Then the fog starts to follow it a little bit more, but ultimately gathering at that next step. And then as you're outstretched your hand over it, you can get a better sight of what that symbol is on the next one, and it reveals the next symbol.
Does Kyra still seem dim? Like her powers faded, like kind of. I think you said, right?
Less of power faded, more just scared, and so she's kind of shrinking, as opposed to open and confident and feeding off of the situation.
Okay, so I have an idea to test this next step since the next one is a couple steps down from us. So, Senna, what I want you to do is hold my hand real quick. I'm gonna try and put my weight on this next step to see if it actually is like solid or not, because we can't really see it, right?
You can see it.
Oh, I didn't know the rest of it was illuminated. I thought it was just like the next step 3 steps down that had the other room.
The one, the L is, and the U is now in sight, I guess.
Okay.
Right.
Well then, I would say let's move down to the U.
Okay, so are you guys right now, are you guys all gathered on the L step?
That's what I thought we were.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Senna had 1 foot on it, but that's not really like... Yeah.
Oh, I thought she like actually went onto the step. Oh, okay.
No, I just have my foot on it.
Okay, well then... I'll walk onto the step. If she has 1 foot on it and she's not dead yet, I guess it's safe to walk on. So I'll also walk onto the step. If we can see the U. I almost don't want to step on any more steps just for like the sheer fact that Dan's gonna pull some shit on us. I'm gonna take like one step onto the next step, and then it's gonna be a roll for initiative.
So what do you want to do here?
I'm like contemplating whether I should just walk down the stairs or actually just jump to the next stair just to avoid, like to the U stair, just in case, to avoid like any other consequences. So I'm gonna put 1 foot on the next step after the L step. Does anything happen?
On the L step? No, you're safe on it.
No, past the L step. 1 past the L step.
It feels unstable once again, and you go ahead and you take 1 more psychic damage.
Let's see. Then I'm gonna jump to the U step.
Okay. Go ahead and do I guess it would be acrobatics.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Go ahead and do acrobatics.
Okay, fair enough.
Try that.
Come on, Google. God damn it. 12.
Okay, that's good enough. It's only a few steps down. So you hop to it and land kind of teeter-tottering a little bit, but you managed to catch yourself and get more stable on it. So you're safe on it. Meanwhile, Senna, being the monster that you are, you could probably just walk to it with one step, like outstretch one leg. All right. All right, give me 1 second. Okay. As you guys gather on that U step, you, pun intended, start to see Kyra's light starts to grow outwards and become more bright and more confident once again. And in response to that, the L and the U steps both light up in the same, flashing white color, as well as the step 2 ahead of you also begin to light up, revealing itself.
Does she seem to be back to her not hidden away anymore?
Yeah, she's back to, I would say, even more brightness than normal, than average.
Okay. And how far away is this M step?
Just a couple ahead.
Okay. Then I'm gonna jump to the M step.
Okay. As you do you do the same, by the way, Senna?
Stay back.
Okay. As Tyr takes that step forward onto the M step, you basically, all three of you get visions. Basically a barrage of visions and almost like a dream, because they feel more tangible than dreams. They feel like memories, but interestingly enough, not all of them are yours. So you see a series of different visions, one being a familiar one to you, Senna. You see a vision of a necklace. It's lying face up on a stone pedestal. There's harsh light of a flame that's enveloping it. You hear the faint echoing and the sound of pickaxes and hammers striking against stone and steel. The pendant in the necklace looks like it has a crack starting to form, running down right through the center of the blade of the axe. Tyr, you also have a vision, and you're actually all having these same visions together, but Tyr, this one is familiar to you. It's surrounding you in darkness, but in the center of that darkness you see your crystal necklace shifting and glistening and glittering in different colors, but those colors are slowly starting to fade and dim and being overtaken by a corrupting blackness creeping over the crystal as a whole. You start to hear total silence, interrupted by the faint sound of military chanting and combat drills in the distance. Alaris receives a familiar vision of a lantern with its light thrashing violently, the normal warm autumn flame starting to turn black. He hears the distant sound of, or you all hear the distant sound of rustling branches and echoing voices through the cold night air as if they feel lost, sending a shiver down your spines. Lastly, you see a new vision, one that's unfamiliar to any of the three of you. You see a staff lying in a cradle of ash, as if the earth tried to bury it, and it's in mourning. It's carved from gray stone that looks almost unbreakable, that looks ancient and enduring, but the stone that the staff is made out of, it's slowly starting to crack. You can see that crack forming inevitably, basically running up the spine of it. A golden snake coils around the staff. It has blue colored gems for eyes, almost like they feel like they're alive and watching you. It has an open mouth with a tongue that's green and flickering outwards. And then finally there's a blue gem similar to its eyes that's at the base of the staff itself, pulsing almost like a heart. There's a smell of incense that drifts through your minds, the sound of distant hymns that are muffled just beyond your periphery. And the stone fractures further as a flame basically starts to envelop it and kindle beneath it. You don't recognize this staff, but it seems to know you as the blue eyes of the serpent are peering into you in anticipation and almost like familiarity. And then as you continue down the staircase, you have these visions, ultimately making it to the very bottom of the end of the spiraling stairs. So the spiral ends at last in total silence. The surrounding walls have eased back and pulled back and calmed themselves, creeping back into a more earthy texture. Not entirely transformed, but they've pulled back. And what stands before you is a completely still black pool of water. As you have made it this far to this kind of reservoir of water at the bottom of the spiral staircase, the fog clings most intensely and becomes most thick near this reservoir, near this black pool of water. It's so thick that it feels like it's almost starting to vibrate. You can feel it on your ankles, causing the water to ripple. The fog is kind of resting over it, pulsating over the top of this water. And then from there it dissipates and regathers itself back towards Kyra's lantern. Not on the ground though, not by your feet, but swirling and gathering around the lantern itself, almost like it's being pulled and attracted to the lantern. As this is happening, you look back towards the black pool of water, and those still waters have now transformed into a recurring and perpetual ripple effect. And the ripples themselves are forming the shape of an eye, an open eye. Kyra's lantern starts to glow more and more strongly. Its tired metal creaking walls of the cage of the lantern starts to buckle and shake as Kyra's inner flame has now become most bright, reminding you of what it looked like back when you were on the surface and when you essentially ushered in all the lost souls of the Whispering Woods to the altar and upwards towards that beam of light that shot out from it, guiding and shepherding those lost souls. That fog is attracted to this lantern in very much the similar familiar way. And the lantern basically accepts it and is being fed off of it, its energy. At this point, you all hear a voice reverberate in your minds. It doesn't say much, but it has an incredibly important question for all of you. You hear it only once, but it lingers in your minds and in the silence of the staircase spiraling above you. You hear it say, "Who am I?" And if you check the chat, I'll go ahead and give you the full series of letters of each staircase that you would have been on.
Lumirith?
Lumerith.
Is that what is that what Tyr says, or is that you, Steve?
Well, I guess all the stairs that we just came down have all those letters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if he says, "Who am I?" I'm guessing that's the name.
So do you say that? Do you say that out loud? I'm
I
asking
would
you.
say that out loud.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say it like with a question, like Lumirith.
Okay. As that final syllable kind of leaves your mouth, the fog begins to recoil, but not in fear, more so in recognition. It pulls away from the lantern for a moment, only to kind of re-envelop it and swirl around it more vigorously. In doing so, you notice that pool of water beneath your feet slowly starts to pull back like curtains, being drawn back by invisible hands. In the center of this now splitting water lies a figure face up with a very peaceful and silent look on his face. What do you do?
Throw the lantern at it.
Poke him with the stick. um,
No, I was just kidding.
Go ahead and actually, you guys say or do whatever you want.
so dude's in water. Is the water shallow enough that we can like walk in it?
You can't tell from right now. You don't know.
I jump in. I'm not kidding.
It can't cannonballs.
I didn't say cannibal. I said jump in.
No, I know. I'm just imagining Senna being like, "All right, boys, let's do this."
Okay, as you jump in, you get about ankle deep, and you plant your feet and notice it's quite shallow, at least for you and for your large size. So for you, ankle deep is actually not that shallow, but you notice it is shallow, and he's just kind of laying there peacefully. But the kind of impact does cause this figure to stir a little bit, and kind of tense up, and you see his eyes still closed, but kind of tense up and squirm, almost in discomfort.
I take the non-pointy end of my axe and I poke him in the eye.
In the eye.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Hey,
I poke
Senna,
him in the crotch.
why don't you check see if he's,
Okay.
What do you think I'm
Okay.
doing?
You know what? As
What do you think I'm doing?
As you do so, the walls begin to retake their scaly flesh forms and pulse outward once more. And the blinding memory that you were once exposed to, that was unfamiliar to all three of you, remanifests itself in your mind, seeing that staff laid on ash, basically cracking once more. And go ahead and take. I'll roll for you.
Are we all taking this damage?
Um,
Damn it, Steve!
go
Shut
ahead.
the fuck up!
Go ahead and take 8 psychic damage.
All of us or just Maddie?
All of you.
God damn
Look what you fucking did.
it. Me?
I didn't do anything! I'm trying to poke you with the fucking stick and you're yelling at me!
You poked him in the eye and then the crotch. There's gonna be consequences.
I just said just check his pulse or see if he's like barely
You know-
alive or not.
You know when you check a deer, you actually fucking poke it with the stick first before you fucking get
Okay,
hands on with
How
it.
about
Is
he's
this a
not
deer?
a deer?
Oh my god, Maddie.
Okay, and then
I
how
don't
much?
know what the fuck this thing
Okay,
is.
how
I
much?
can't
How
get
much of
fucking
this?
close to it.
It's
Okay,
a person in
give
the
me a
water.
percentage wise, y'all. How much of this is in character?
Like 75%.
Do you want to die right
Hey,
here and
yo.
now?
Okay. I'm gonna look at Alaris and I'm gonna say, can you use one of your healing spells? Maybe it can actually bring him, shake him awake or something.
Alaris bends down beneath him or beside him, with his pants basically knelt down inside the water. He looks over him, and he looks back to you and says, "It's uncanny. It's almost. It feels exactly like what we saw topside. He's not. He's not dying or in pain or taking any physical damage. Healing him wouldn't do anything. It's almost like he's stuck between consciousness and unconsciousness." As Alaris says this, Kyra jumps in to say, "He's lost. A lost soul in the fog. You found him. Now bring him home." And then as she says that, you feel the warmth of the lantern basically, almost like a nurturing, caring embrace kind of enveloping or cupping your hands gently, and that warmth start to spread over across your arm as she kind of pulsates, moving essentially a little bit towards and trying to get you to move towards the body beneath you.
And kneel towards the body. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna do the same.
With the lantern, or what are you doing with the lantern?
She has just a lantern. You said kneel,
I
kneel
have
towards
the
the body.
lantern.
Yeah,
Okay,
you said
okay.
Kneel towards the body, right?
All right. Yep. And
I
then
did, yeah.
as you do so, the fog begins to flow through the walls and through the caged bars of the lantern, almost like a serpent, kind of intertwining itself among the rungs, flowing effortlessly and almost like before where it was weighted down into the ground. Now it feels more freely, like it's kind of flying and is able to playfully kind of zoom around and flow, almost like swimming through the air with a sense of play and lightness to it. As this happens, it starts to take on the same white flame color as the lantern itself. And then from there, you see the fog drip from all sides and run down along all sides, almost like water flowing. If you were to pour a pitcher of water over the top of the lantern and have it drip and flow like a waterfall from all sides through the flame, unscathed and actually empowered. And then from there, they gather all along this person who's lying in this water. They gather all along his chest, creeping up along his neck, into his mouth, into his nostrils, like they're recapturing his lost breath. And as this happens, this figure, Lumarith, his eyes open and for a minute they glow faintly with the residual kind of fading light of that fog and of that white flame. The light inside them, inside him, and behind those eyes feels incredibly old and familiar, but also renewed. Like someone waking up from 1,000 dreams and a very, very deep sleep all at once. As he does so, his eyes glow up and light up and his eyelids widen.
And
Suddenly
do
and
like the John
dramatically,
Cena thing in front of his face.
suddenly and dramatically,
Just
he
can't
he
see
s- he sits up, like just being awakened from a bad dream in bed in the middle of the night. He sits up, and he sees you waving his hand in your face, and he says, "Nick, what does he say? What does he say you're doing?"
What are you doing?
Who are you? Why the fuck are you alive?
No, oh, wait, shit. I'll be like, why are you here?
Why are you here?
Just repeating questions back at him, Maddie.
Shut up.
Why are you
Right.
copying me?
I'll do you one better. Why is Kimura?
Um,
I brought you back to life, so you answer.
You can say as much or as
Was-
little as you want. You
I
can,
know, I'm
you
trying
can
to
do
think.
whatever you want. Whatever.
I think. Thank you, but I was alive.
Well,
Okay.
where are we?
That's only. Damn it.
For me to know and you to find out.
No, not like that. I'm trying to think. That is a question I've been asking. I don't know how I got here. All I know is that I need to find a way out.
Well, it's dark as shit in here, so can you like light this bitch up?
I do not understand these words that you speak.
And I point to the darkness, I go dark, and then I point to the lantern and go light.
He looks at Senna and says, "No habla inglés."
No, it's-
That dark, this light. I want no dark. Fix.
I have one light.
Kyra chimes in, just talking to Tyr
Yeah, no.
specifically. She's doing it again.
If you want to make it out alive, I suggest you follow. I'm just completely ignoring what she said.
Wait, so did you say follow me? You kind of cut out in that last part.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well then, lead us out, stranger.
Hmm.
Adios, muchacho.
As
What?
as
And I help him up.
okay.
I
As
lift him up by his arm. Like a child, sorry.
as Lumarith regains his strength, assisted by his new best friend, you feel a sense of ease and warmth as the viper around you basically starts to recede. The staircase returned to their original stone. You feel a sense of calmness and unity, and almost like an epiphany, like a realization has dawned on each of you. You don't know what's to come, but you feel more centered and more aligned with reality almost like you've finally woken up from a very, very strange dream. As you look to this new stranger, it dawns on you that some people go looking for answers, others become the answers, and then there are those rare lost souls, clouded by fog, shaped by silence, who are both a question and an answer, truth, mystery, memory, and mist. Lumarith might just be one such soul. And you are now entangled in the long coils of the serpent's riddle, a riddle that does not like to be solved. And that's where we'll end it for the night.
Woohoo!
Yay!
That was good. I talk too much for my character. I gotta work on that.
One thing I was worried about, Nick, is that you would talk too little, because I'm not a fan of, like, I get like the strong silent type, I get like the archetype or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you what to do, but like don't stick to it too heavily, because it just pulls everything to a grinding halt, where it's like, if you guys are not going to talk
No,
to each
I have
other,
I have
like,
a plan.
yeah, like
Don't
there are
worry.
moments, fair enough, like you do, but I'm saying, like, there are moments to RP a little bit more hard and moments to pull back, I think, just for the sake of getting
Oh yeah.
like the real life
That's
things
why-
moving, and being able to solve problems together, and don't feel like you
That's
have to
why
stay
I
too
go-
strict.
Yeah, it's not that. It was more of like just making sure that it like has a meaningfulness.
I gotcha.
That I'm trying to carry more than it.
Yeah.
Being this
Okay,
word, but for it to be more, and I would expand as time went.
Okay, no, that's great. I love that. And feel free to like pause and think. Like, I do that shit all the time. Like, I'm not gonna blurt out whatever, so I need a minute. A lot of times with the questions you guys ask me, like, I'm trying to think, because like sometimes I'll have an answer, but I'll need to like pull it back to be like, okay, what's the right amount of information to give here? And then sometimes you guys just like fucking, especially Maddie, she fucking asks me questions that I'm like, how did I not even think of that? And then I have to think about it, because I'm like, I jump in, fuck, I didn't think how deep it was gonna be, Maddie. But then that's kind of a big deal, so I need a pick now.
Manny is like every meme that has been like
It's like the ultimate like QA tester, like stress
yes.
tester. Yeah. I kick him in the dick. Fucking god damn it.
The arch go. That's right. It goes in the circle hole or square hole. The whole thing.
I'm kind of like want to embody like Jester in a way.
But like more mean and less charismatic,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Clearly.
Ay.
I like how it was just poke him in the dick, and then Maddie went all in on deers.
Yeah, and I
Which
love
you
how
suck at
like
deers.
You clearly don't know
I
how
love-
to check the dead thing.
I'm just saying, Maddie, he's not a deer.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't want to fucking die.
Steve is doing a great job of controlling the volume of his voice. When Maddie, I've noticed in the last few interactions you've had with Maddie,
I am trying.
because she's getting you, but you're staying cool.
I don't think anyone wants to incur the wrath of Robin,
The Wrath
especially
of
tired Robin.
All right, that's the name of this episode.
The wrath of tired.
The Wrath of
Revenge
Robin.
Mm. Who was woken up by her child? Who was woken up by some